2 decades. Ernesto, over to you. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Sierra Metals, copper producer with precious and base bimetal products. We are a company, we are listed in Toronto, in New York, and also in Bolsa de Valores de Lima in Peru. Our share price performance. Let me start with this graph. As you can see, the value of this company a couple of years ago was very, very high if we compare it to what it is right now. In October 2022, this company almost went broke. I joined the company in January of 2023, and since then, we have been able to turn around the operations. We had 3 operations at that time. Now we have 2. One, Cusi, a small silver mine, we were able to sell it a few months ago, and we kept an NSR just in case the new owners really hit the jackpot there and will be riding the wave. But we decided to stay with only these 2 assets because, as I'm going to show you in a little bit, these are world-class assets, underground mines in Mexico and in Peru. So like I said, as you can see, from January 2023 until September, more or less, we turned around the operations. We started doing marketing. We started coming to these roadshows in September of last year. You can see the share price increase since then, 200%. And we are still, as you're going to see, very, very much undervalued yet. One thing we did, and this is not very popular when I say it, but we did it, we changed the management team at that time. This company had a history of being for sale for quite a bit of time, so that the mindset of the management team at that point was more of an exit strategy. Let's sell the company, and we're out. I'm an operator. I come from Hochschild Mining. My last position there was COO. And then I moved into Goldfields as VP for the Americas. Always in the operations side of the business, always, most of my time, almost 30 years in underground mining. So that's what we started doing. So we brought an operating team to manage this company. Jean-Pierre Fort is here with us, our CFO. He comes from Volcan in Peru, more than 10 years working there. We also have here our VP of Talent and Culture, Alberto Calle. He comes from Newmont, Las Bambas. And then we have all this team. And the top 40 managers of the company, the tenure of these 40 managers is less than my tenure, that it's a year and 8 months. So thanks to all of us and to them, we have been able to turn around the company. Like I said, 2 operations, Bolivar in Mexico and Yauricocha in Peru. We produce 50% of our revenue comes from copper, 26% from precious metals, as you can see, and zinc is important as well. Not to be repetitive, but the last year we took care of the first 2 pillars here, safety, health, environment, and communities. It's already in our DNA. Everyone does it. They don't ask how, they just do it. This is what I call the non-negotiables. And we took care of the operations. Operational excellence, we needed to save the company. Now we're not a little bit, some of our time, especially JP, the CFO, and myself, and our board, and I am happy to say that we have a board member here also, Rob Neal. We are more interested, some of our time is devoted to growing the company. And we can grow it inorganically, organically. I'm going to show you how. So some of the highlights that we were able to accomplish, Bolivar was a 2,000 ton per day mine. We were able to take it to 5,000 ton per day. And we did this last year. We updated our NI 43-101, which was old, I might say. Last year I was here saying that we had 2 world-class deposits. Now, it's not only me saying it, but we have a 43-101 report proving it. So this is very important. Debt refinancing, we were able to refinance our $75 million debt, $85 million debt, into a 95. We asked for an additional 10. And this debt is payable now in 5 years. It used to be in 18 months only when I got in. 5-year term loan, first year grace period, and 35% balloon in year 5. The cost is not the best. SOFR plus 6.5 is not bad, but we are already working to refinance. We have no penalties to prepay the whole debt. So we are working on that. I'm going to tell you a little bit about a permit that we also got this year, that it's a game changer for the company. It's in Yauricocha, our Peruvian mine. Share price, you already saw how it increases. It increased. We were able to do a little equity financing from shareholders and management. Management participated with 10% of this equity finance. Between 4 and 5% of the company now, it's owned by this management team that I told you about, by these 40 managers. Myself, I own 1.5% of the company, and I keep buying every time I can. We are very, very cheap. So that's important. We all are new to the company, and we are putting our money where our mouth is. And Cusi, this is a small silver mine that we were able to sell. That was not for us. It's more an exploration project, the way we see it. Talking a little bit about Yauricocha and this permit, this red dotted line, level 1120, past management had a permit to drill below this level, but not to mine below this level. When we got in, we found out we didn't have a permit to go below this level 1120, just a level, an area, a line in our deposit. 95% of our resources are below this level. Only 5% of our current resources are on top. So we're running out of mineral on top of this level. Well, this was a game changer. We took the task to get this permit, and we were able to get it on February 21st of this year. On February 22nd, we started developing the mine below the level 1120. It's a new mine for us, and we know that we have, look at the 43101, look at the amount of measured, indicated, and inferred resources. We have 23 million tons. 95% of these 23 million tons of ore are below the level 1120. We have started to develop, like I said. This mine had been producing at 2,000 tons per day, even though it has the capacity of 3,600 tons per day. Barely making money at that rate, at 2,000. By Q4 of this year, and we are only 15 days away or so, by Q4 of this year, we are going to be able to be again at 3,600 tons per day. With that, this is an amazing, like I said, world-class mine. The life of mine of this Yauricocha deposit, you can see it there on the right-hand side, more than 13 years. To have an underground mine with more than 13 years life of mine, an underground mine with more than 13 years life of mine, with more than 5 years in reserves, is amazing. In Hochschild, in Goldfields, we had 2-3 years of reserves only, because it's very expensive to have reserves. So this is an amazing mine who is going to be on top of everything in a couple of weeks. Look at the amount of pounds that we produced, copper pounds equivalent, in 2020, 2021, 65, 58 million pounds of copper. We're going to be at those levels in 2025. Right now, we are only at 40 million pounds equivalent copper. By next year, full year, we'll be again at those production levels. Look at the costs at those production levels. Today is not bad, 360. It's 360 because we are developing this new mine that we have below the 1120 level. Remember, we had nothing below, only resources. So we are developing. That's why the cost is, the all-in sustaining is a little bit high. By next year, at full production, we should be in the high twos, because of inflation, low threes. So it's going to be an amazing thing to watch. We produce three concentrates here, zinc, copper, and lead. Bolivar. Look at the picture, the green colors in the mountain. This is an underexplored mine. This mine is young. It's only 300 to 400 meters deep, and we are just scratching the surface here. Again, the 43101. Look at the measured, indicated, and inferred resources here. We have more than 30 million. The grade is not great, but this is a 5-ton per day mine right now. Easily, we can take it to 7,500. What's missing here? Before going there, look at the life of mine. Again, 13 years, 3 years in reserves. Everywhere we drill a hole here, we find copper. It's an amazing deposit. Why can't we go to 7,500 tons now? Tailings capacity. The thing here is that we have enough tailings capacity at 5,000 tons for the next 3 to 4 years. Enough time, more than enough time, to build a new tailings dam, a project that we have started already. We're going to build a new tailings dam that is going to last for 10 to 15 years. Once we have, in a couple of years, this tailings dam in place, we'll go to 7,500. This is also a cash machine. You're going to see at 7,500. You're going to do the math. How much are we producing here? Around 40 million pounds of equivalent copper. In 2020, you can see that previous management high-graded this mine. It was COVID, I don't know what happened there, but look at the all-in sustaining cost, $2. There was no investment at that time in this mine. Then production, the mine got decycled, production started coming down, costs started going up. Last year, we were able to go back to 5,000 tons. A year and a half ago, this mine was at 2,000 also. In doing the operational efficiencies that we needed, that needed to be done, we were able to take it to 5,000. Last year, we were able to produce 36.5 million pounds at 331. This year, we're going to produce around the same. And this is the state this mine is going to be until we go to 7,500, 50% more. Look at this is consolidated information as of the first semester of this year. Look at the EBITDA numbers, $32 million. Corporate EBITDA, almost 30 million, down on the left. If you multiply this by 2, you can just guess that we're going to be at $60 million EBITDA company by year end. We took this company when it was at 13. Last year, we were able to produce $46 million. And this year, we're going to produce over 60. And I say over 60 because, like I said, in Q4, Yauricocha is going to be at full production. Debt is not an issue anymore. It used to be an issue in 2022. But the ratio now is 1.56. And next year, with Yauricocha at full throttle, we're going to be in less than 1. Growing the company, moving forward. Bolivar, I already told you, 7,500 to 10,000 tons per day. Easily, we can take it there. Yauricocha, we're increasing the capacity from 2,000 tons to 3,600, 40% increase. And why not think, and I can tell you this, next year, why don't we go to 4,000? I want to have this mine for 6 months at 3,600 full capacity. The mill can, with a little bit of investment, go to 4,000. So that's something that I hopefully I can tell you next year in this same forum. On the right-hand side, we have a big porphyry in Peru. Some of the majors are interested in this porphyry, and we're thinking about putting some drill holes in this porphyry, just to be a little bit, have more strength in the negotiation. And in Mexico, we have many greenfield projects. Inorganically, we are also looking. We are always looking. It has to be, for us, in production or close to production. We don't want more greenfield projects. We have them in our portfolio. And, if we have to choose Peru, Mexico, as our priorities and in the Americas. I don't want to think about going to the other part of the world at this point in time. We're just starting. This is a new company. We have been set and told to change the name of the company because of all the baggage that it comes with it. So maybe that's something we'll do in the next few months. Look at our market cap in US dollars, $110 million. Like I said, this year we're going to produce between 60 and 70 million dollars of EBITDA. Next year, with the Auricocha at full production, I get into trouble if I say the numbers we're looking at, but it's going to be probably a lot more than these years, and this year is going to be 70. So we're very much undervalued. I think the market is not realizing the intrinsic value and what we have in our hands, and it's okay. We're patient. We think it's gonna come, and I buy, like I said, shares every time I can, every week if I can. So thank you for your time, and
Thank you, Ernesto. So with that, we have some time for a couple questions from the audience. Again, if you do have a question, just raise your hand and the microphone will be brought over to you. So Ernesto, you've got a number of development projects. How do you prioritize the portfolio of development projects that you have across your different mines?
Okay, thanks for the question. We do have a bunch of them in Mexico, and we are not developing right now those. We have drilled those in the past. We have some resources in some of them. And Mexico right now, for the next 3 months, I think, is going to be a little bit in turbulent times, if I may say. So we're not developing those. We're waiting to see what's going to happen with the new projects and permits and all that. The porphyry in Peru has the permits to be drilled, and that's the one we are prioritizing right now.
Okay. And maybe if you could just speak to the turbulent times. I think you're referring to the transition of government in October with Claudia coming online. So what are some of the potential implications that you see over the next couple of months?
A lot of noise. The next couple of months, I think there is going to be a lot of noise. But look, like I always say, I mean, Mexico, Peru, Chile are mining countries, and mining is not going away from our countries. So there's going to be a lot of noise, and probably it's going to be a little bit harder to get some permits, but the mining is not going away. Mining is a crucial and important part of the economy in our country. So,
yeah, certainly that's what we're hearing and seeing from various other presentations and conversations. If we look at Yauricocha, you pointed out the opportunity below 1120 meters. Can you speak to the potential infrastructure upgrades that might be required at some point at certain depths, specifically maybe ventilation or other things?
It's embedded in our cost. This is going to be a very profitable mine, very, very profitable. So all the infrastructure is embedded in our costs and the ones that I told you. It's a new mine. It requires everything. I mean, electricity, ventilation shafts, pumping systems, everything. So, but it's in there. And both deposits, Yauricocha and Bolivar, are open along strike and in depth. That's something I didn't say. So there is a lot of potential still here.
Okay. Thank you for that. We have Ernesto Balarezo. This is Sierra Metals.